On October 3rd, he asked me what day it was.
It's October 3rd.
Okay, so I know I said I was going to be doing mostly horror movies during this month, but today is October 3rd, and I thought, what a great way to celebrate it than by talking about one of my all-time favorite comedies, Mean Girls. Mean Girls is a classic comedy starring Lindsay Lohan, Rachel McAdams, Amanda Seyfried, and Lacey Chabert. I don't care what gender you are, you've seen this movie, and you've seen it a lot. And if you have not seen this movie, what the fuck is the matter with you? This movie is one of the funniest movies I have ever seen in my entire life. In my humble opinion, it's up there with movies like Dumb and Dumber, Liar Liar, like The 40-Year-Old Virgin, Superbad, stuff like that. And that's just in my list of movies that I think are funny. This is one of my most favorite comedies of all time. It is a movie that I can quote incessantly. It's one of the movies where I can recite about 60% of the dialogue. And it's really annoying to watch it with me because if you do watch this movie with me, you hear me talking more than the movie. If you want to watch the movie with me, cool, just know I'm gonna talk over it and it's gonna make me laugh even harder. To me, this movie is pretty relatable because I went to a high school where there were a lot of mean girls who were mean to me. That's not to say I didn't have any female friends in high school. There was just a Regina George type girl at my school. There was a girl like Katie Heron. There was a girl like Karen. And then there was a girl like Gretchen Wieners. You know, it's just a relatable movie. And if you went to high school in the early 2000s when this movie came out, you probably went to a high school with girls like this too. Now, they probably weren't called the Plastics, but they definitely had the same type of vibe as them. Just really bitchy, mean, rude girls. If you went to high school in that time, you definitely were victimized by these girls and you felt that. And you probably also went to school with girls like Janice Ian and you had friends like Damien. Now, granted, when I did go to high school in the early 2000s, to my knowledge, there was no burn book in these groups of girls, but there possibly could have been, and maybe I was in one of them, and I will never know that. But in my opinion, this movie really changed the culture of what comedies are, at least in the early 2000s, not as like a whole, but in the early 2000s, I think this movie set the bar pretty high to great comedy writing. I also think it did a little bit when it came to setting the bar high for comedic acting. And honestly, when it comes to legendary comedic actors such as Tina Fey and Tim Meadows, I mean, you really don't get much better comedic actors than that. And you know, Amy Poehler is in it as well. Like, I mean, these people are now legendary. At the height of SNL in the early 2000s for their careers, this really put them on the map. They are now comedic juggernauts, and I think that this movie really showcased that. And you also had Lorne Michaels. I believe he was an executive producer on this movie, and obviously he is a producer slash creator on Saturday Night Live. So he obviously probably had a little bit to do with this movie, and I thought that that was a great addition to this film. There was a made-for-TV sequel to this, which is god fucking awful. Do not watch it. It takes a fiery diarrhea all over this film. Do not watch the sequel. Promise you, you will fucking hate it. As I had said, there are so many quotable lines, so many good memes come from this movie. I mean, for God's sakes, the fact that this movie is still relevant and still holds up comedically 15 years after the movie came out, I think really says something about this film. Obviously, if you have not seen this movie, please do yourself a favor and watch this movie. You will have a great time. You will laugh your fucking ass off. I promise you, you will definitely love this movie. And if you have seen the movie, obviously you know what I'm talking about. This is a great fucking movie. It is one of the funniest movies I've ever seen, and probably a lot of people will say the same. It still holds up X amount of years later. It's so fucking funny. Please do yourself a favor. If you have not watched it, please check it out. Obviously, this movie gets a hard 10 out of 10 for me. I don't know about you guys. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think of Mean Girls. Is it a 10 out of 10 movie for you? Is it one of the best comedies you've ever seen? Is it kind of whatever to you? Whatever your thoughts on this movie is, let me know. And as always, if you want to become one of my sweethearts, please subscribe to my channel and give this video a like. I would greatly appreciate that. Thank you guys very much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.